This session is for finding the pulse transfer function of various sampled data systems. The calculation of pulse transfer function is largely affected by the position of the samplers. Here we discuss 6 different cases. The first case is as shown in the figure. Here we have a sampler at the input and also in between the two blocks. Both the samplers have the same sampling time, that is capital T. So we find the pulse transfer function of this particular system. In order to find the pulse transfer function, it is essential that there should be a fictitious sampler at the output. If there is no such sampler at the output physically present, so we assume that there is a fictitious sampler at the output and we take the output as C star of S, as discussed in the previous slides. And from the fundamental principles, we can write the equations that C1 of S is equal to R star of S into G1 of S, and C1 star of S is equal to R star of S into G1 of S star, that is R star of S into G1 star of S, and C of S is equal to C1 star of S into G2 of S. So C star of S is equal to C1 star of S into G2 of S star. This can be written as C1 star of S into G2 star of S. Substituting for C1 star of S, one can write R star of S into G1 star of S into G2 star of S, that is C star of S. So we have seen that C star of S is nothing but C of Z. So one can write C of Z is equal to R of Z into G1 of Z into G2 of Z, that is Cz by Rz. The pulse transfer function is G1Z into G2Z. So this is nothing but Z transform of G1 of S into Z transform of G2 of S. We have to find the Z transform of both these blocks, that is G1 of S and G2 of S separately and then multiply in this case. This is because we have a sampler in between the blocks. Now we move to the next condition or the next case. So in this case we can see that there are two blocks but there is no sampler in between the block. But there is a sampler at the input. But there is no sampler at the output, and hence we place a fictitious sampler at the output. So in order to find the pulse transfer function, so let us assume R of S, R star of S, G1 of S, G2 of S, C of S, C star of S. So we can write C of S as R star of S multiplied by G1 of S into G2 of S. But since there is no sampler in between G1 and G2, I can combine G1 and G2 as G1 G2S, so that in case I need to find the Z transform, I can combine the two functions and then find the Z transform of the composite function. So C star of S is equal to the star form of R star of S and G1 G2S. So this will be R star of S into G1 G2 star of S. So this is C of Z, R of Z, G1 G2 Z. So Cz by Rz is equal to, please do read this as Z, not 2. C of Z by R of Z is equal to G1 G2 Z, and that is Z transform of G1 of S into G2 of S. Please note that this is not equal to Z transform of G1 of S into G2 of S. Next we have the third case, which is a feedback loop. We have a sampler in the forward path and there is no sampler in the feedback path. So this is G of S, H of S, C of S, R of S. Let us assume that this is E of S and this as E star of S. So you might be remembering how you have found the transfer function of continuous time system. We can use the same principle. We write E of S as R of S minus Cs into H of S. So this is nothing but R of S minus E star of S into G of S into H of S. Since there is no sampler between G and H, that is here, we can write Rs minus E star S into GHS. So E star of S can be written as R star of S minus E star of S into GH star of S. So E star of S into 1 plus GH star of S equal to R star of S, and E star of S will be R star of S by 1 plus GH star S. Now we can write C of S as E star S into GS. So when you place a fictitious sampler at the output in order to find the pulse transfer function, which moves at the same interval of that of t, we can write C star S is equal to E star S into G star S, and R star of S, I can write E star of S as R star by GH star of S, and this is G star of S. So C Z by R Z is equal to, because C star can be written as R C of Z, this will be G of Z by 1 plus GHZ. So this is Z transform of G of S by 1 plus Z transform of GS into HS, the combined, and then find the Z transform. Next we have the fourth case, that is we have a zero order hold. This kind of problem is already placed in tutorial sheet. You may refer to the tutorial sheet for the numerical problem. This is just a representation, a general representation. So we have a sampler here. So this is R of S, then E of S, then we have G of S, then we have an H of S, here we have a C of S. A sampler is there, a fictitious sampler, so we have C star of S. And here the extra point that is to be noted is Z dou H is basically in zero order hold. Its transfer function is GH0 of S. It is not, its notation is GH0 of S, and that is nothing but 1 minus e raised to minus st by s. We have seen that. And e raised to minus st can be written as z raised to minus 1. So, this will be 1 minus z raised to minus 1 by s. So, these points should be kept in mind. So, we can see that since there is sampler only at the input, we can very well combine these two in the forward path, and in the feedback path we can combine all these three. So, C of z by R of z will be Z transform of the forward path, that is GH0 of S into G of S divided by 1 plus Z transform of GH0 of S into G of S into H of S. So, while doing so, we can replace GH0 by 1 minus Z raised to minus 1. So, for that we need not have to find Z transform again. That 1 minus Z raised to minus 1 part can be taken out, and the rest alone can be calculated. So, one can refer to the tutorial sheet for the actual numerical problem. Then we have case 5, wherein there is a sampler at the input side as well as in between the two blocks, but there is no sampler in the feedback path. So, we can place a fictitious sampler here. So, this will be C of S and this will be C star of S with the forward blocks as G1 and G2 and feedback as HS and the input as R. So, it is very clear that with the basic knowledge of the various cases 1, 2 and 3, we can easily write C of Z by R of Z as G1 of Z into G2 of Z by 1 plus G1 of Z into G2 H of Z. So, we should keep in mind that G2 H of Z is a Z transform of G2 S into H of S, and that is not equal to Z transform of G2 of S into Z transform of H of S. This is very important. When there is no sampler in between, we first need to combine the two transfer functions, then maybe we have to do the partial fraction expansion and then find the Z transform. Now, we will move on to the last case where there is a sampler at the input but not in between the forward blocks, but there is a sampler in the feedback path. So, this is GH0 of S, that is a 0 order hold, G of S, C of S, a fictitious sampler C star of S with the same sampling interval. This is also the same sampling interval. H of S is in the feedback path, R of S is in the input. So, here we can write C of Z by R of Z as, can you think for us some time? Guess what happens for C of Z by R of Z? Okay, that will be Z transform of GH0 of S into G of S, because there is no sampler in between, it can be combined. 1 plus, since there is a sampler between G and H, we need to combine GH0 G together, but H should be separated. So, GH0 of S, G of S, its Z transform multiplied by Z transform of H of S. So, this is GH0 of GH0 G of Z by 1 plus GH0 G of Z into H of Z. Thank you.